Life invites us to live with gusto and verve. The only thing holding us back is ourselves and possible perceptions of obstacles. Our attitude, outlook, willingness, perseverance, persistence, and resilience are critical. There is a sacred knowing deep within us that always supports and guides us, combined with courage, tenacity, and keen inner listening. The innate knowing will deliver us and through anything. As we work in partnership with Spirit, all things are truly possible, especially the seemingly impossible. So help me welcome our speaker of the day, April Johnston-Ulrich, and she'll be talking about Unbounded and Unstoppable.
Hi, everyone. So I want to share a letter that a client of mine received this week from his daughter at university. And I think I have it. Yes, here it is. Dear Dad, there was a riot on campus. From the smoke I inhaled, I developed some lung problems. At the hospital, it became even more important that his lungs were taken care of fast, as I found I was expecting. I met a parking attendant, we fell in love. The baby's on the way. And when in a month he gets off probation, we would like to move back in with you and open a record shop. Oh, by the way, I'm dropping out of college. We are going to be home soon. Signed, your loving daughter. P.S. None of this is true, but I failed chemistry. Happy Father's Day. I hope you never get this letter. So, unstoppable and unbounded. Unbounded and unstoppable. I got it backwards there. So, how many of you feel that today? Sure? Yeah? Are you ready? Are you ready to be unstoppable? Good. I've got you both all on the peripheries. This is really interesting. And I got Phyllis right down the middle. She's unstoppable. She's not bounded by groups. She's going to be where she's going to be. So, what a great talk. Holy boldness. And what a great idea about being unstoppable and boundless. And we were doing in our meditation, I took some people through a practice that I've been doing for a while now. And the whole idea of this practice is to reach the place where you are nothing. You don't exist, as far as the ego is concerned. You don't have a label, you don't have a body, you don't have a job, you don't need anything, you don't resist anything. And I'm sure wherever Elizabeth is, that she hit that yesterday. She found that place. Some call it enlightenment. Some call it the one with source, the source energy. What is so wonderful about this place, it's who you truly are. So we're all running around trying to do our thing, right? We're all trying to make our lives better, to use these spiritual tools and move forward. At least I think most of us are. We're good people. We're here trying to figure out how to make our lives better, our families' lives better, the world better, right? So we come and we listen to these talks, and we go home, and maybe the feeling lasts with us till we're home, or maybe by the time we reach the car, it's left. And they were like, how do I get that? How do I get to that place of knowing, having that feeling all the time? And you're not going to like my answer, because I know a lot of you find this really hard. It's meditation. Meditation, meditation, meditation. Because meditation takes us to that place of just being the awareness, just being the observer. And anytime we're trying to make a decision, if we can connect with that observer, we've got it made. Because there's no resistance when we identify to that which is under everything. That I think Ernest Holmes refers to, it's that quiet knowing below the noisiness of our lives, right? Does anybody ever felt that current? You know, maybe things are going crazy and someone says, just breathe, just breathe. And when we start to breathe, all of a sudden, we get in touch with that current that's flowing underneath. We dip our toes in it, right? So when we commit to meditation, and I'm not saying 10 minutes, 3 times a day, I'm not saying 15 minutes, I'm saying if you can commit to an hour every morning, set your clock at an early hour and just get yourself up and sit. Don't have to do special stuff. You don't need special music. Just sit. Be in control of the body. Tell the body, I know you really want to get up and do something because it's going to make you feel important and valuable, but sit. Sit your butt in this chair and do not move till the timer goes off, and set a timer. So I love Kyle Cease, and he describes this process, and he said for the first 6 minutes your body's screaming. Everything itches, everything makes you want to move, everything makes you want to get up. Then for the next 20 minutes, the to-do list shows up. Oh, I gotta remember to pick up the such and such, or I really should go do those dishes. It'll be the most hilarious things that all of a sudden pop in your mind for you to do. Because that's how the ego lives. That's how the consciousness lives. It wants you to show your value by doing. We've been taught that since we're little. You got to do things. That's important. Get out there and try. Be the doer. I mean, when did a parent last say, oh, I think you should just sit and be for like a half an hour? I think that would be wonderful. Maybe be a very different world if we did. Because we're all trying to go do things so we feel valuable, so we feel loved, we feel honored. You know, dads are big doers, right? Dads do this, you know, some of them, I mean, the moms do it too, but a lot of the time dads get the projects, right? They get the heavy lifting. They get those things. It's some more doing. Right? And I love the transition watching our generation who was just doing what their dads did, and their dads, and their dads, and the next thing you know, we're back to the Vikings and all of those wonderful dads we want to emulate today. But the kids today are breaking that habit. The younger men, the younger fathers today are breaking that habit. They take paternity leave. So they would be home with the child. My one nephew is just finishing up his 6 months of paternity leave. And he's an amazing father. I watch all my nephews. They're beautiful fathers. They sit with the children. They do everything. They talk to them. They're on an emotional level with them. And it doesn't mean what our fathers did was wrong or what our husbands or partners did was wrong. I think those are the ones that transitioned. I think those are the ones that have allowed these young men to come into the type of dads that these children of today need, right? There's an awareness in them. There's an understanding. There's a value to just being. They don't have to do, they don't have to make a particular income. They don't have to strive for this particular job. They just have to be. And society is starting to see that with value. They're starting to come around and say, yeah, like it's crazy. Like they're so involved with their kids. There's so much help. And that's a lovely thing. But that's awareness. Once their children come along, there's not going to be those constructs, those ideals that we held, that our parents held. You know, I've heard when the guys go on paternity leave, I've heard so many of my Older families say, well, it must be nice, just sit around. They have no clue what it's like to take care of a 6-month-old, right? They're not sitting. They probably are dying to get back to work by the end of their 6 months. But what's wonderful about this is that everything changes, right? Society stops resisting and stops pushing these constructs. These dads become unstoppable. These kids get the benefit of that. So, what in your life, what construct have you been believing and you've been carrying in maybe to that first 20 minutes of meditation? I shouldn't be doing this. This is a waste of time. I should get up. My house needs cleaning. I should be out weeding my garden. I should be heading to work. I should be working on such and such, right? We all do it. I mean, I still do it. It doesn't last as long as it used to, but it still creeps in. And every time it does, every time I plunked myself down, and I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to be pure awareness. And I do my relaxation, and I'm in it, and I'm in that beautiful bliss. And then it's like, you really should be picking the thistles out that one garden. They're going to just take off while you're sitting here, right? Now, instead of getting upset that I've allowed these thoughts to creep in, I put my hand on my heart and I do the Ho'oponopono prayer. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. I thank you. So who am I forgiving? Forgiving myself. I'm forgiving myself for judging myself over my mind doing exactly what my mind's been trained to do over all these years. Find something for me to do so I feel valuable. That's what I forgive myself for. I forgive myself when a thought of somebody comes into my meditation and there's a judgment put to it. Oh, they really should do it this way, or they really should do it that way. I do it. I stop. I do it instantly in the meditation. And it's amazing when you, in your meditation, forgive yourself for those thought processes that are natural, but that you don't want to experience. It's amazing how it dissolves it. And when it dissolves it, when you've been in this meditation for half an hour, probably hitting the 40-minute mark, there is a silence. There can be a blackness. Sometimes I see a blackness and there's like waves of color moving through it. Sometimes people have images. Sometimes people, there's no vision at all. It's just a sense of space. I know a lot of people that do the Joe Dispenza meditations. He'll take them into space and try to feel that their body isn't there. They are nowhere, no one. And it's blissful because you're just watching. And then you realize the watcher is who you truly are, the observer. So the one that caught all the thoughts about what you should be doing, that's the observer, that's the awareness. The one that realized you were judging, that's the awareness. And what's wonderful is when we start identifying with that awareness, when we start realizing that's what it is, freedom comes in. Because when you're awareness, you don't have to make the mortgage this week. You don't have to go out and weed your garden. You don't have any of the issues that you have in your regular mind ripping through the three, usually there's three, run-on thoughts that you keep in your head all the time. They don't exist. They disappear. So what happens when we're in this space? So what's one of our favorite sayings? What we resist persists. Right. So have you ever been really ticked at someone and you're like, oh, that's it, I'm just going to forget it. I'm not even going to think about it. 20 seconds later, well, I'll just wait till I should have said this to them. And then you catch yourself again, you go, no, I'm not going to think about them. I'm going to go out and do this. And you're out doing something, and then all of a sudden you realize you've been fixated on them for another 5 minutes, thinking about everything you're going to say when you get on the phone. We've all done it. We've done it on situations. We've done it on people. That's awareness is the catching. And the minute we catch it and dispel it, then the resistance to that person disappears. So the more times you're aware, the more times you interrupt the thought, the persistence disappears. So what is wonderful about that is when we get rid of those things that we're focused on, and we're in that place of just knowing, Source is there. Source is like, hello, I've been waiting on you to do this for quite a while, right? I've been here all the time. So we're like, oh, I just wonder where Source is. And like Source is like, right here. And like, no, I can't see it. It's nowhere. And Source is like, right here. You just have to look at me. Right? It's like the ketchup bottle in the fridge when the kids are going. It just disappears for some reason. But awareness, when you hit this place, at that 40-minute mark or 30, and the more you do it, kind of the sooner it shows up, when you hit that, you have nothing to do. It's not like, oh, I'm awareness. I'm connected with Source now. I need to do something. You don't. You just need to bask in this. You just have to bask in an awareness that you don't have to lose 5 pounds or gain 5 pounds to be valuable. You don't have to call somebody and go out and do all these things for them to be valuable. You're valuable because you are. You are an I am. I am. And when we get to connect with that, that's freedom. That's total freedom. Because we're not attached to any outcomes. And you know, the joke of this is, the minute you're not attached to an outcome, what happens? Shows up, absolutely. It's like this weird trick. The universe says, hey, the minute you stop focusing on it not being there, the minute you stop saying that you want this to show up, the minute you just are awareness and allow, I can just step right in. You're not blocking me anymore. I can come in your door and do, create, and I want to, right? But the thing is that no one can do that for you. You have to get to this space. And I'm telling you, you do it 3 days in a row, you will be amazed how your day changes. Absolutely amazed. And then start watching. Start watching for what shows up, what appears in your life, the issues that you've been focused on, the things that you've been really trying to do, your affirmations and your vision boards, they just show up. They just appear. It's effortless. But it's so hard because we're raised to be doers. And we're raised to think this has got to be hard and we got to be tough and we got to get out there and do this. We don't. We have to let go and let spirit, let the universe do what the universe does. It's named Source. You're not named Source. It's named Source. Comes through you. It's the only thing that does anything. But if we're continually focusing on those things, those blockages, so you think unstoppable, right? How many people have had the opportunity to take a car up in a racetrack?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the driveway, right?
Yeah, a camp gate for some people, it can be a lane. There is, the first time you do it, there is this fear that something, you're always waiting to hit the brake. If you hit the brake, it's not a good thing. You can slow down, but hitting the brake is never a really good thing when you're going fast. You'll probably skid out. So what's so wonderful about this is that first you're a little nervous. You're maybe not going as fast. People are going by you. That's okay. And then you start to realize nothing's in your way. Nothing's stopping you. Nothing's resisting. This car's going to go if you push down the pedal. If you've got the nerve to be unstoppable. And that's exhilaration. When you realize that you can do something. So how many people here have had a dream or had an idea or something they wanted to do, and finally got their own ideas about how it won't work, how they won't like me, how this isn't going to produce something that I want it to. How many people have pushed those thoughts aside and went for it? Yeah. Great, yeah. It is a wonderful feeling to feel unstoppable, to realize, and once you do it, you realize that Spirit is always there. Even if you can't see it, even if you have some bad times, some bad moments, Spirit is always standing there going, let me take the wheel. Give me the wheel. I can do this. Just be quiet. Just be awareness. Just notice what is happening. So I love this one song, and it kind of goes with this. I'm a Porsche with no brakes. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single game. I'm so powerful. I don't need batteries to play. I'm so confident. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. So I'm sure you've heard this song. It's by Sia. And it's one of the songs that when I get on my treadmill, I'm pumping through for the first while to let me know, yeah, you've got this. You're unstoppable. You're a Porsche with no brakes. So are you prepared to spend the effort to get to that place? To get to that really amazing place where there's no resistance from what you are or what you receive. Now the idea, I'm going to throw a little loop into this, is not to go into the meditation to get something. The minute we go into a meditation to get something, we're planning. And the reason we're planning is that we want something for this experience. This experience should purely be to get in touch with who you are. The benefits will come. But when you're there, don't be thinking once you've hit that blissful, I am nobody, I am no place, I have nothing to do. When you hit that place, don't start thinking, I wonder if the money's in my account right now. Don't try it out loud. Don't say, oh, I bet you I'm looking really attractive to that person in the grocery store right now that I've had my eye on. When we try to set an agenda, we're again blocking Spirit. Because we have an idea how something's supposed to show up. And they can show up in the most miraculous ways if we just let Source. We can't outthink Source. We can't come up with the ways that have never even been done before. I mean, look at what people are inventing these days. Look at these kids, these younger people that are millionaires with an app. That didn't even exist for us as a job, a career path. And yet it's so funny how we still have paths for kids. You need to be a doctor, you need to be a lawyer, you need to be, those aren't even the big jobs anymore. Be a plumber, be an electrician. Like, it's amazing, be the trades. So all of these things are constructs. So take a moment and think about a construct in your life. Something maybe your mom told you, maybe your dad, maybe a teacher. Something that you believed, that somebody told you and you believed. Maybe you're not smart enough. Maybe you'll only ever be average. Maybe you shouldn't hope for this or that. You gotta be realistic. And I love this one quote. Have you ever noticed how being realistic is always negative? Mm-hmm. Like, when you're trying, I can't tell you how many times as a practitioner, and I think I mentioned this last time, where you'll say, you can do this. Like, if you open up the tap to Source, there's nothing you can't. Well, I live in the real world. April, and the real world is always horrible. There's limits. There's limits to what you can do. And I have all these things that I have to take care of. And we want to tell our story. And that's another thing that comes up in meditation, our story. And we need to tell people our story, right? And every time we do this, it's like putting a stop sign in our road. So every time someone says, wow, you're looking great today. You know, I think you look amazing. And then the minute you say, well, this old thing, I got this at Value Village and, you know, and my hair didn't turn out. I really got to get my hair done. And, you know, I've never slept last night. Like, don't you see the rings under my eyes? Didn't that storm keep you up all night? Why do we go to our stories? We go to these stories because it's so desperately the ego saying, I am something. I'm here. I have all these things. I have all these stories. What would you be without it? Isn't it so hard sometimes to say thank you and leave it? And not even return the compliment? Oh my God, that would kill me. I mean, it's just that whole thing, right? Because that's kindness. You return. But if we can just be the awareness of receiving, I'm receiving that. This is wonderful. And when we receive, we can give. So someone said to give, which we have a tendency to all like to do, it's like inhaling, and then you can't exhale. Because receiving is the exhalation. It's the giving back. Right? It's this beautiful cycle. I think I got the reversed. But you get what I mean. You can't have one without the other. So meditation, breathing, awareness. You are not the source, but you are what the source flows through. You are the vessel of spirit, the divine, right here today. So, are you going to stop it? Are you going to be the one that keeps divine from flowing in this world today? Or are you going to be unstoppable and boundless?
Unstoppable and boundless.
Wonderful. How about someone join Wes? Unstoppable and boundless. All it takes is awareness. All awareness takes is that little bit of time. I mean, you could do what Elizabeth did, and there's a reason she looks like pure bliss today. Tapping into that I am. Tapping into that just pure awareness. And if you're having trouble, if you find that you're doing these meditations and you're having issues with these things coming up, see a practitioner. Or go online. You can even find people to do treatment for you online. Find someone to know those things for you, to help remove those blocks for you so you can flow. And trust me, if all of you did this, this would be a totally different group next Sunday. You would have a totally different idea of what was being said, a totally different experience through the week, and it would be wonderful to just watch pure awareness in this room in all its beautiful aspects. I'm so looking forward to that. Just as an info, I am planning to do a meditation sessions through the summer. They'll be sporadic on a drop-in basis, but the whole point will be getting you to being able to do a meditation for up to an hour without it feeling like you've been sitting for an hour. Trust me, when you come out of it, you'll be like, oh, I want to go back. This is so good. Anyway, happy Father's Day to everybody and everyone that considers themselves a father in some way. And yeah, let's hit that awareness. And so it is.